Although we've finished this volume chronologically, there's still stories that were forgotten. Let's go back in between the end of chapter 2 and the start of chapter 3. In 330 BC, a man named Buffius was born in the region that was once the tri-border between Rome, the Germanic Empire, and Wallachia, a puppet state of Rome at that time. However, something strange about him was that by age 30, he grew to be 32 feet tall. This gave him unbelievable strength, but because of his size, he could not integrate into society and Rome saw him as a threat. This made Buffius mad, so he went on a rampage across Rome, destroying buildings, farms, and even cities. He eventually made it to the southernmost part of the Italian peninsula, and since he was so colossal, he could just walk across the Messina Strait to Sicily. However, in Sicily, there was a massive Roman legion waiting for him. They began firing spears and arrows at him, but he ran at the legion, crushing them, literally. 2/3 of the legion died, however, Buffius was damaged. He had scars and bruises all over. This battle was called the Battle of Buffius, and happened in 299 BC. After the battle, Buffius figured he'd wade to Greece. And that's what he did, although it did take 2 years. However, Greece was owned by the Byzantine Empire, which was pretty much as powerful as Rome, so another battle happened. It was called the Battle of Buphios. Buphios is the Greek name for Buffius. Unlike the Battle of Buffius, Buffius did die. But the Byzantine Empire took heavy losses too. Half of the army fighting against Buffius in the Battle of Buphios died. That's the first story I forgot. Now let's speed across history to 1935, in the U.S. state of Utah. A group of settlers decided to build a new city. The greatest one in Utah. Utah City. The city had a port which was just made up of docks, which led into Salt Lake, so Utah City could trade with other cities on the lake. Utah City also had houses, which were near the docks. The man who founded the city, Bob the Builder, who was born in England in 1910 and also built things across the rest of the USA and Europe, had to leave the city around 1950, but to remember him by, a large stone block, with a statue of Bob the Builder on it, surrounded by a roundabout, was created. Now let's back up to 1911, when Henry Dessington founded Mr. 11 Yogurt, in England. The company sold and produced yogurt. They didn't start making mass amounts of money until the Cold War, when people wanted an alternative to yogurt from Kazakhstan, which was part of the Soviet Union at the time. Mr. 11 Yogurt is still around to this day. Let's speed ahead again, and learn why Microhard Doors is comically similar to Microsoft Windows. Well, back in 1975, when Microsoft was founded in Washington, some people in British Columbia with binoculars saw Microsoft get founded, so they wanted to make a similar company, so Microhard was born. Eventually, Microhard made doors. But they didn't make an alternative to Xbox, or did they? I just didn't mention it, but Microhard created the D back in 2013. However, it became the worst-selling console of all time, and was discontinued in 2016. Yes, I am aware that these events are not huge game-changers, and are all in the past. But here's a sneak peek of the next Twobbular timeline volume. In 2021, Antarctica re-emerges, after having been shattered thousands of years ago. Europeans saw this as a new colonization opportunity, while others also wanted a piece of the pie. So, the scramble for Antarctica began. How does it go? Who dominates? Will this tear apart alliances? Cause new wars? Well, you'll have to wait until Volume 3 of the Twobbular timeline. Coming out, Fall 2025. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Twobbular channel so you won't miss it.